What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV, back at it again with another banger. My people, y'all know the vibes by now, man. Kick back, relax, and take a ride with me.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
So, two topics I wanted to talk about in this week's episode was one, man, South Carolina and a lot of other teams have already begun practice. We have a couple of questions to dissect and answer coming into the season. But first, I want to start off with some big news. We got an announcement for arguably the most talented scorer in the entire country, the most exciting and hyped up WNBA pro prospect that we've seen probably since Candace Parker Maya Moore days. Juju Watkins tore her ACL last season and came out with an official update ruling herself out for next season to focus on rehab. She posted on Instagram saying, quote, "These last few months have been filled with a lot of healing, rest, and reflection. Recovering from the injury hasn't been easy, and I want to say thank you. Your love, support, and kind words have truly lifted me up during one of the most difficult times in my life. Because you've been with me every step of the way, I wanted you to hear it from me directly. The following the advice of my doctors and trainers, I will sit out this season and fully recover, fully focus on continuing to recover so I can come back to the game I love. I'm incredibly thankful for my family, teammates, coaches, the USC training personnel, Jason, Shane, and everyone who's continued to support me every day through this journey. I'm excited to keep putting the work in to come back even stronger." Major blow for USC, but not only USC, this is a major blow for all of women's college basketball and women's hoops in general. A generational talent like Juju Watkins not being on the court, it's going to be noticeable. They got the number one freshman coming in, and Jazzy Davidson, as well as one of the top sophomores in the country coming back, Kennedy Smith. Man, you hate to see it. You hate to see it, man. But USC, I think, will be fine. London Johnson with this group, London Jones with this group as well. They got some shooters. They got some good pieces in the transfer portal. They've got a number one potential scoring option, Kennedy Smith, as well as Jazzy Davidson. And we just wish Juju a speedy recovery, man, because the game will miss her absolutely. But I just want to give y'all that breaking news first. We got the update on Juju Watkins. Now, moving forward to South Carolina, man, there are a couple of questions that needs to be answered. First off, who is going to be in the starting lineup? We know Raven Johnson, Taniyah Laston, definitely going to be in that backcourt. Tessa Johnson maybe at the 3. Maybe you go big with Joyce Edwards at the 3. You got Medina Okot as well as Chloe Kitts and Joyce Edwards, Adele Tack, all fighting for starting spots. Realistically, you got 3 players fighting for 2 starting spots here, but who is going to be the starting lineup for this group? Tessa Johnson makes sense at the 3 if you want to go traditional. 3 and D, one of the best 3-point shooters on this team, probably the best 3-point shooter on this team. Going with her at the 3 makes sense. She's waited her time. She's played in some big games, and she's delivered on some of the world's biggest stages. But Joyce Edwards, we saw her with Team USA in the Mary Cup with FIBA U18 squad as well. Doing work, working on the perimeter skills, working on the jump shot, mid-range, 3-point range. She's shown that she has the ability to shoot the basketball. She can go coast to coast. She can bring the basketball up the court. She doesn't get enough credit for her playmaking ability, her court vision, and the way that she can get others involved. You think about a lineup with Joyce Edwards at 6'4" at the 3, guarding those big wings. She can guard the 1 through 5, so she is mobile, capable enough, and athletic enough to get it done from the 3. And then you got, of course, Chloe Kitts locked in possibly at that 4 spot. Talk about another player that has worked on her game that hasn't been as aggressive as we'd like to see her. Led this team in scoring for a part-time last season, was averaging a double-double, and kind of ducked off into the SEC tournament. But this is the season where Chloe Kitts needs to prove she's a first-round talent. She needs to be the alpha on this team, command the ball, and take this team by the reins. This is the year of Chloe Kiss. She's been working. She's had Isla McDowell, the freshman, coming in, who we'll talk about a little later. She's been putting in work on her perimeter skills, looking stronger, getting more ball skills, looking more comfortable, taking it off the dribble, getting her shot off the bounce, blowing by defenders, using that length, using that speed, using that nimble frame. And then you got Okai, who could, man, be the big that they've been missing, the rim protector. She had a 20 and 20 game last season, man. She's got the low post offense. She's got the back to the basket game. Can get the hook off over the shoulder. She's 6'6", big, physical, and is not going to be afraid to use her fouls. She's going to be really, really good on the boards for this team. It would make a lot of sense for her to start at the 5 for this group. But there's a lot of different options, and we can see this change game by game. But we know Coach Dawn Staley, man, when she finds her starting 5, she typically sticks with it. So that's going to be interesting to see. People have been worried about Laston as well. How will she adjust to playing with so much talent? I think her playmaking ability is something that doesn't get talked about enough. She almost averaged 5 assists a game last season. Now, we know she's a walking bucket. She's going to be possibly the leading scorer on this team. You get her an ISO, she can get you a bucket. Offense goes stagnant like we saw last season a few times. She can go out there and get you a bucket. Offense scrambling, shot clock winding down. You give her the ball, tell everybody else to get the hell out of the way, and she can go get you a bucket. She can be the closer that this team did not have last season, closing out games late down the stretch, coming up with big buckets. How will her game translate with so much talent? Will she be a defensive liability? What is her role within this team? How many shots is she going to get per game? Do we see her get 15 shots per game? She's definitely not going to get 20, but does her scoring take a huge hit, or does she come in and become SEC Player of the Year and a first-team All-American playing that combo guard spot? Because we can see her at some point guard when Raven's out. Maddie McDaniel is well going to be playing a lot of point guard for this team as well. But do they unlock the full potential of Laston? Do they get her to play her best basketball? How long will it take for her to mesh with this team and build that chemistry? We know she played with Raven. A couple of these players, Juju Watkins, who's sitting out this season, focusing on her. But we know that she has chemistry, and this locker room is very well aware of her game. But how will that translate to the rest of these players in this team? That's something to see, man. New league, new team, new role. It's not always easy, and it's not always a quick adjustment. Last but not least, my last question, man. 3-point shooting. They bring in Isla McDowell. They have Tessa Johnson. Laston can shoot the 3. Agot McKeer can shoot the 3. They have capable 3-point shooters. Coach John Staley said that she expects these freshmen to carve out a role within this roster, and she expects them to contribute early on. Now, what will that be? More so on the defensive end? Will they be able to come in and knock down open shots when the double teams come for Joyce Edwards? When they come for Chloe Kitts down there? When they come for these bigs and when they try to double down low, when they try to pack the paint, can these players be zone busters and really light it up from 3-point land? If these two freshmen can come in and consistently knock down the three ball, they're going to one solve a huge issue that Coach Don Stanley in South Carolina faced last season, but also they're going to get immediate minutes and be tough to keep off the court. Can they deliver? Their numbers might be called on sooner or later, man. But these are two 5-star prospects that have played internationally, that have played against professionals, that have excelled on the biggest stages in amateur hoops. And they might be relied upon, man, to let that thing fly and shoot the basketball. Because the double teams will come. Teams are going to try to pack the paint with an upgraded front court. Teams are going to want South Carolina to turn into a jump shooting team. Can that be turned into a strength this season? The perimeter scoring. That's what I want to see, and it may not come early. But throughout the season, can these freshmen progress? Can they knock down shots? Can they move the basketball? Can they limit mistakes? And can they come in and play with confidence for a national title contender? Nobody's saying it's going to be easy, but I do think these freshmen are built for it. Starting lineup, who's it going to be? Laxton, how's she going to fit? These freshmen, can they upgrade the 3-point shooting? Those are the questions that we have after the first couple of practices for South Carolina. Y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments, man. That is a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, I am Brandon Blakely, a.k.a. Brandon BTV. This is the live Brandon Blakely podcast. Until next time, my people. Yeah.